Hello everybody. On this day in 1811, Harriet Beecher Stowe was born. If that name doesn't ring any bells, then I expect you will know the name of her best-known book, Uncle Tom's Cabin. It was written in order to encourage the movement towards the abolition of slavery in America, and it is credited with having had a considerable influence in that regard. It was, in fact, the best-selling novel of the 19th century, so it really had a very widespread influence. Sadly, some of the portrayals of the slaves are a bit stereotypical, and we would see them today as being slightly negative. But it can't be denied that the book had a most powerful influence, and it was because it opened up to the Northerners in America who were horrified by it, and the Southerners in America who were somewhat surprised to discover their reaction to it. It opened up to them an imaginary, yes, but a well-portrayed insight into what it must be like to be a slave. Harriet Beecher Stowe seemed to manage to enable people to get inside the skin of her characters. Uncle Tom was just one of them. It was around him that various other stories of the way slaves were treated revolved. I think today I just want to celebrate the way in which so often novels and films and stage plays, television drama perhaps particularly, can open us up to an empathy with people who otherwise we wouldn't have an inkling of how they're feeling. I mean, often the authors themselves are not going through the experience that they portray, but in the way that they do it, they enable us to get inside the feelings of people who are very different from ourselves, and that has an enormous value. Empathy is an extraordinary thing. Some people seem to have it, and other people don't, to the same extent. But certainly it is something that we can encourage in ourselves, and I think it is a quality worth having. And by reading and by noticing how plays and films and television dramas influence us, we can perhaps develop a deeper empathy with people in need, particularly. But the other way, I think, of encouraging empathy in ourselves emerges from the fact that what finally pushed Harriet Beecher Stowe to write the book was nothing to do with slavery. Her 18-month-old son died, and she, in experiencing the pain of that and the experience of loss, felt that she was able to empathise more realistically with the lot of the slaves, and it was that experience which finally pushed her, though she'd been an abolitionist for years, to write the book. And I think if we can really be in touch with our own feelings, really be aware of those things which cause us pain, not to hide from them, but to accept them, not to blame other people for them, but just to be realistic about the fact that things are happening to us which are hurtful. Maybe it's our health, maybe it's something about the way we're being treated. Whatever it is, if we can really feel our own feelings, then I think it makes us much more likely to be empathetic towards the needs of others. And I think that's a quality that we would all hopefully like to have.